Welcome to Rewatch-and-Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. Today's episode is Naruto Chunin Exams Arc, episode 23, Genin Takedown, All 9 Rookies Face Off. Episode in a nutshell is a brief reminder of what happened in the episode. So after briefly speaking with Kakashi, who reveals that had they not all agreed to show up to the Chunin exams, they wouldn't have been able to complete them. They then enter the room where the exams are going to take place, and it's of course filled with most of the other Genin participants, or all of them. I don't know if they're the last to arrive or not, but in any case, they enter the room. They are then greeted by the other rookie teams that are entering, which is pretty much the passing teams from their own age group as well as Guy's team. And they loudly have this reunion in front of everyone, basically treating it like another day in class, having fun. However, this draws attention from pretty much everybody else who is quiet and solemn, waiting for these very important promotion exams to begin. And they are approached by Kabuto, who basically tells them, fair warning, you guys are making a scene and not everyone's going to be okay with that. He then acts very nice towards them and offers to, because they're new and it's their first time taking the exam, give them some advice, and he reveals his ninja info cards before they then ask about, the various shinobi, and he shows off like people's stats, so like Team 7's stats, or I think Sasuke really, and then Gaara, Lee, etc. But anyways, he's giving those away. Then something Kabuto says, which I can't remember what it was now, offends one of the sound shinobi, who then decides, Dosu I think specifically, and he decides to attack him. And while the attack doesn't physically land, the shockwave from the attack breaks Kabuto's glasses and makes him cough up some blood. And things are about to get super tense, except that is when Ibiki arrives as the proctor for the first exam, introducing himself, and of course everything settles. But that is the last scene of this episode. And now we come to the rankings. First, the mostly objective ranking list, followed then by the personal ranking lists. So we first have our single arc supporting character growth. Dosu has his attack, which is caused by a special gauntlet that he wears that has a bunch of holes in it. I don't know that it's named in the anime, however, the online wiki does name it the Resonating Echo Speaker, which apparently is from some games that he appeared in where it was named there, so that's what I'm going with. Worth 1 point. Then we have our multi-arc supporting character introductions. We have Kabuto Yakushi alongside his ninja info cards, worth 3 points. And then we have Akamaru, who is Kiba's partner, and a dog. But because I gave Pakun the honor of being a multi-arc supporting character introduction, I decided to give Akamaru that as well. Although difference is Pakun can talk, Akamaru can't. But because Akamaru is basically there every time Kiba is there and seems to have some level of intelligence, at least communicating with Kiba himself, I decided to give him that same level, which makes that another 3 points, and ultimately gives this episode a final score of 7 out of 10. And that brings us to the mostly objective arc rankings so far. And in first, we have Identify Yourself, Powerful New Rivals. A new chapter begins, the Chunin exam, Chunin challenge, Rock Lee versus Sasuke. And then this episode is in fourth, Genin Takedown, All 9 Rookies Face Off. And it is in fourth place because when more than one episode has the same score, they rank in episode order. So even though both the last two were 7s, this one is last place overall. Bringing us to the personal ranking. And I felt kind of meh about this episode. I like the reunion. I like getting reintroduced to the characters because by now we've gone through an entire arc and they were really only in those first few episodes. So it's been a while. So the fact that they got reintroduced because they're going to be a major part of this arc, I like that fact. I thought the info cards were interesting, but again, they did cause a scene, which was really rude behavior. And then Naruto kind of makes this loud, yelled, after being warned that, hey, you're making a scene and not everyone's going to appreciate that, Naruto then decides to yell at the entire room about how awesome he's going to be and he's going to defeat them all and pass and blah, blah, blah. Which honestly I felt was very cringe and I kind of got secondhand embarrassment to a certain extent, but it's also in line with his character. And I wasn't the only one embarrassed because honestly, even the other Rookie Nine were like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe he did that." Um, Especially in Sakura, because goes to Sakura and is like, "I can't believe your teammate." And Sakura's like, "Don't look at me." Either way, there was some comedy in that aspect. Obviously, there was a little bit of a battle, which again, the battle was interesting. Well, not really interesting, but it showed like one of the sounds Shinobi's techniques, but also I don't think pre-fighting is in the rules, so they were breaking rules to do that. But basically, I liked this episode because of the info dump, because I found the info dump interesting, but most of the rest of the episode I was kind of meh on. And that's why I ultimately gave it a 5 because 5 is the neutral halfway point, the meh point. So, that brings my personal arc ranking so far to Chunin Challenge Rock Lee versus Sasuke. A new chapter begins, the Chunin exam. Identify yourself, powerful new rivals, and then Genin Takedown. All 9 rookies face off is in 4th place on my list as well. And that brings us to our series ranking so far. Obviously, the only completed arc was the prologue / Land of Waves arc, so that is in 1st place on both lists. Then Chunin exam arc so far has a score of 33 out of 180. Or sorry, 480, my bad. And then 31 out of 480 on the personal ranking side. But with that, we have rewatched and ranked Naruto Chunin exam arc, episode 23, Genin Takedown. All 9 rookies face off. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.